County View Live at Uncut, and I'm your host for What You See Is What You Get and What You Don't Is Better Yet, John R. Heinis, and of course we're going to talk the latest and greatest in Hudson County news. So first of all, let's mention Tom Bertoli. He's a political consultant that many consider instrumental in getting Wardee Councilman Stephen Fulop elected mayor in 2013. He's also done work for U.S. Senator Cory Booker, Hoboken 3rd Ward Councilman Mike Russo, and plenty of others. Newark Mayor Ross Baraka. That's Tom Bertoli. Some people call him the janitor due to his ability to clean up political messes. He's been sentenced for his tax case, and most people would say it was a pretty light punishment, so we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about this lawsuit out of Union City, where a former employee is making some bold allegations about retaliation at the administration, and he's also making an allegation that he was fired 2 months after meeting with detectives from the New Jersey Attorney General's Office Public Integrity and Accountability Unit. So there's a whole lot there to try to unpack for you. And we also have a go figure where their former fire chief, Brian Cribbins, actually returned to duty yesterday under the rank of firefighter, of course the lowest rank there is. So that's an unusual one, even by Biosquare City standards, so we're going to talk about that. And as always, I'm joined with a guest today, and it's District 4 Hudson County Commissioner candidate Mamta Singh. So we're going to chat with her in just a few moments, right after this word from our sponsors.
Stevens Jersey City Ford Certified Parts and Service, located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape. Motorcraft parts are backed with the Ford warranty, which includes a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee. Our team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Hudson County View Live at Uncut, John R. Heinis. As I mentioned a few moments ago, today I'm joined with District 4 Hudson County Commissioner candidate Mamta Singh. Mamta, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, John, for having me.
You're very welcome. So, yeah, this is a district, as you know, that I live in, and it's an interesting district after redistricting. So let's just talk about the demographic for a moment. So you got the Heights, you got Journal Square, and a portion of downtown. So you're seeing a lot of different groups, a lot of different faces. Just tell me what it's been like on the trail so far.
Yes, it's a very diverse group, as Jersey City is. It's been great. I'm talking to people who speak Spanish, and I am learning Spanish, and I'm pretty comfortable with that. And I'm also talking a lot of people in downtown and Indian Square. So it's been interesting talking 3 languages right now, which has been great.
All right, well, that's something that you don't see every day.
Yeah.
Now, when you're talking to potential voters and discussing your candidacy, like what are some other main concerns you're hearing?
Of course, yeah. So as we all know, we have a couple of issues in Hudson County. First is unaffordability. It's getting so expensive. And it's like, I'll give you my example. I literally every single year I lose most of my friends because they cannot afford to live in Jersey City. They cannot afford to raise their families in Jersey City. So they end up moving. And the other one is public transportation. If you want to drive car, of course you are stuck in traffic, and we don't want to encourage that. You should be taking public transportation, but they haven't done a good job. In last 10 years, Jersey City's population has increased over 50,000. But did they increase the number of public transportation? They have not. So of course there are not just one, there are multiple issues, and right now we are trying to see top 4 or 5 issues where we can be helpful.
Well, there is VIA, but yeah, I mean, that can only do so much, obviously. But with that said, you know, when we're talking about the issues of affordability and mass transit, what could you do on the county level, or what would you like to do on the county level if elected?
Of course, yeah. So I have been talking to a lot of community leaders who are involved and trying to do good things in the city and on county level. For example, I was talking to Jimmy Lee yesterday about street safety, and we were talking about how is it possible on county roads to have a designated bus lane. How comfortable it will be. So, and we need to make a couple of changes in terms of hiring the right contractor, not contractor coming out from, from my family or elected officials' family. And the survey, we need to conduct surveys to find out what is the possibility on Hudson County roads. Can we have a bike lane? Can we have a designated bus lane? And parking is how much is the possibility. So figuring it out, all that has been great, and getting great support from these people. When we reach out to them, they are open, they are giving great ideas, and we are in the process of working how much is possible. And there is a possibility. I'm really positive. There will be so many positive changes. If people give us opportunity, we will make sure that we'll deliver. We are not going to be like other elected officials. They are so comfortable because there's no one to challenge them. They don't make efforts, unfortunately. And now we have a team of young people, and we are going to try so many good things in the county level.
All right. So on the issue of street safety, so now, we've heard a lot about bike lanes, and we've also heard from some people that feel like you've mentioned environmentally friendly, a green campaign, and you've also mentioned that you want to do some diagonal parking, improve parking, and they're saying those things don't really go together. I mean, how would you respond to that?
Absolutely. So as I said, right now we are in the process of talking to all these people who are invested in street safety or parking and all that. So we are in the process of finalizing what is the possibility. I do feel, these high-rise buildings provide parking to people. These luxurious buildings provide parking to the people living there. But not everybody in Hudson County can afford to live in those high-rise buildings. We need to figure out to make their life comfortable. If you have 2 infant kids or toddlers, you need to have a car. But then you don't need 3 cars, you don't need 2 cars. So of course there has to be a comfortable situation. A lot of things are in control of Hudson County, but some of them are not. So we need to work with municipal with that, about designated parking spots. How does it work? What can be changed? So people are not just having 2 or 3 cars just for the heck of having it. Change is possible, positive change is possible. We all have to work as a team. So yes, we are making collective efforts right now.
All right, very good. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. John R. Heinis still here with District 4 Hudson County Commissioner candidate Mamta Singh. So now let's talk a little bit about why you're running. So obviously there's an incumbent that won a tight race with one of your current running mates 3 years ago. And, obviously you think it's time for a change. Why do you feel that way?
Because nothing much is happening. There's no improvement. I have been knocking doors for over a month actually, and people are telling me who is our county commissioner. People are talking about, and I'll give you an example. I was talking to a mom. She says, I have 2 young kids and people drive like crazy on these streets and I'm always worried. So I reached out to the current county commissioner, never heard back from them.
Was that Kennedy Boulevard?
Yes, and the other day I was knocking doors at JFK, and the way people were driving, I saw accident right there when I was knocking the doors, and I was talking to people there. There are some easy steps which we can take. If Hudson County has most deadliest county roads, why is that? Why are we not doing anything about it? Are we even trying to do anything? So how hard it is to create a speed bump, or how hard it is to have a speed sign or a stop sign? We cannot just sit and think, okay, something would happen. Who would going to do certain things or make changes? So current commissioners, I think people do not even know them. At least my experience has been like that, where they ask me, who is our county commissioner? And I ask them, like, you should know. They're saying nobody came to knock the door, nobody came to talk to us, so we have no idea. And I feel I'm making efforts to connect people to know what are their issues, what are their problems, how can I solve them, how can I figure out a resolution for them. And I think they deserve this change.
Okay. Now, when we're talking Hudson County, like we've had people sit here like Elena, like Councilman Solomon, and they've said that there's too much waste at the county and we need to do something about it. So what do you think about that, Ed? I mean, do you have any plans on that specific topic?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Those are the things on my list. And I'll tell you why, because there is nepotism and there is no transparency. And they hire the wasteful expenses, of course, because they hire the same contractors. If they are not delivering, they are still hired. Why? People need to know why the same people are being hired without even delivering good services, because they are someone's relatives, or someone's son has 2 jobs. They're getting salary. Whose money they are using? Taxpayers' money. Why are they not doing anything about it? Because there's no transparency. You check out the Hudson County's website and budget, it's hard to find. Why is that? You need to have a transparency. You need to have line item right there. I should not spend 15, 20, 30 minutes just to figure out the budget. People should get a newsletter, for example, monthly newsletter or quarterly newsletter, where I should tell them that, okay, this is how we use your money last quarter, how we are going to use in the next quarter, how hard it is. These are not rocket science. I think these are possible things. I'm not giving or suggesting anything which is not possible. It's just that current administration is not making efforts to do anything. They are comfortable. They have, big bosses behind them, and they feel they'll get elected again and again. They'll hold the position for 25, 30 years without anyone challenging them. So why to make efforts?
So what would you do personally if elected to try to fix some of this stuff?
My plan is transparency. First thing, when you are spending few minutes on the county's website, you should be able to check the budget. Again, same thing, how we are spending your money. You should be getting newsletter where I'll be, we as a team will be writing the things, line items, how we are spending your money. Nepotism, no, why your elected officials, family members have 2 or 3 jobs. It should not happen. So that will stop for sure. And talking to people, conducting frequent surveys to find out what are the issues, what are the priority issues, and then working to resolve them, coming up with solution, working with municipal, working with city council, working as a team. solving the problem.
Okay. Now, when you've been approaching residents, voters, and you're talking about, the main thoroughfare, Central Avenue, Grove Street, Merritt Boulevard, Journal Square, are they talking to you anything about like revitalizing the small businesses in the area?
Yes, so small businesses, and through my not-for-profit, we have given platform to small businesses to connect to the families directly to sell their services, to sell their product. And I have been working with small businesses for over a decade. I have a great relationship. I understand so much their struggles and their limited resources. So something we can create a programming for them, educating them and educating about the resources which county is providing, coming up with workshops where small business owners or people who have ideas to create business, that can be a platform to provide resources. A county's website can provide a lot of resources to them. And again, not everything is going to be heavily you don't need to invest a lot of money. These are small ideas. These are possible ideas. I have done it with my not-for-profit organization, and county level, we can do a lot more because county has money, and we can use that in a positive way to help the community, to help the business owners or small business owners.
Very good. Mamta, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, John. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We're not done yet. We'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Not everyone celebrates the birth of a baby. You have options. Don't panic. New Jersey has safe havens for unwanted infants. Leave the baby with staff at any hospital, ER, police or fire station, or rescue squad. Call the number on your screen for safe haven locations or go to www.njsafehaven.org. No shame, no blame, no names. Safe Haven.
This thing rips! Oh, it is so quick. There's a lot of punch packed into this Bronco Sport. It's got a ton of horsepower. I love it. All right, now we're getting hairy. Now we're getting the fun stuff. Yeah. I like how we can get over or around almost anything.
Yeah, I dig your ride. I super dig it. It's gonna be a good day.
He initially faced 8 charges, I should say, from the U.S. Attorney's Office, and obviously that didn't amount to a whole heck of a lot. He pleaded guilty to one of the counts, and everyone was unsure where this was going. Obviously, October wasn't terribly recently, and we saw U.S. District Court Judge Brian Martinotti, and he came up with a sentence of 3 years probation and 1 year of house arrest. So, obviously some people were not delighted with that. Others thought it was perfectly fair. Like most sentences, you got a lot of varying opinions there. But the bottom line, it also comes with a $100 fine. And the judgment that came out on this obviously says that while on probation, Bertoli can't commit any other crimes. And, they will excuse him from a mandatory drug testing program, but they are required to submit to drug tests if asked. And it's a 12-month house arrest, which they call a location monitoring program, and he must remain at his residence for work, religious services, medical substance abuse and/or mental health treatment. Anything else requires pre-approval from the U.S. Probation Office, who has required that he must get the full disclosure of his financial records. So if you guys forget, there were some specifics around the numbers here. In short, Bertoli admitted that on June 5th, 2014, he was interviewed by an IRS collections officer, and at that time had not filed tax returns between 2009 and 2013, despite earning income and owing a total of approximately $195,889 in taxes. And he also falsely claimed he was a construction worker at a construction company in order to hide the existence of one of his political consulting companies, Urban Logistics LLC. Additionally, he earned about $917,000 through Urban Logistics in 2015 and owed about $370,025 in taxes, which he did not pay in time. So, it looks like that's the end of this chapter. We first heard about this back in 2019, a report from Bloomberg that said Bertoli would likely face federal tax charges and was being pressured to give up information on Fulop and other public officials. However, safe to say that did work out. There's been no related indictments, and obviously this case is closed. So let's head over to the Mile Square City for a moment here. We've got a bunch of things to talk about with the fire department, as we have for probably the past 2 weeks now. And what's interesting is Brian Crimmins, who has been on administrative leave since May 18th, 2021, actually returned to work yesterday, but he didn't come back as chief or even battalion chief or captain. He came back as firefighter, Brian Crimmins, which I don't think too many people were expecting. And we don't really have a whole heck of a lot of clarity on what's going on here, as I mentioned at the top of the program. So there was a memo from Acting Fire Chief Anton Peskins that came out on Friday, and it said, "Be advised until further notice, firefighter Brian Crimmins will return to day staff commencing Monday, April 3rd, 2023, which, obviously is pretty unusual and also pretty vague. Now, I reached out for comment, and all I got back was that the city does not comment on personnel issues, which is, obviously not really cluing us in what's going on. But Crimmins has, again, been on leave 23 months approximately, just a hair under. And at the moment, he hasn't filed any tort claim, no lawsuit, but it looks like something's going on here in that realm. I mean, I don't think this is a case closed type of scenario like we just had with the Bertoli case. Obviously, this isn't a criminal matter, but I'm just saying there looks like a lot going on behind the scenes here. So, who knows how this is going to get resolved, but I imagine we're going to see this in court sooner than later. And, I was able to speak with Crimmins for a moment last night, and, let me just tell you that he feels like this is all politics. And the reason that I say that is, let me just pull up the statement. Just give me 1 second here. And what he told me was the following. "I have an outstanding reputation for honest and intelligent leadership. My commitment to the Hoboken Fire Department is unparalleled. The city's charges against me are false and entirely political in nature. I look forward to setting the record straight in the near future." So obviously not a guy that sounds worried about his current predicament, even though it's not the most favorable one. So with that, let's talk about this potential merger between the Jersey City and Hoboken Fire Departments, as we did for a bit last week. Now, at the time that I was sitting here in this studio, what happened was that it didn't look like this was going anywhere. Like, Hoboken officials came out and they said that there was no plans to merge, and even if they were going to merge, there was an auto aid, mutual aid agreement that would have to be approved by both city councils, and then they would have to do that for a couple years to even consider a merger. And of course, to even get this in front of the councils, they would need some approvals from Trenton. Now, interestingly, Jersey City came back about 48 hours later and said, as a matter of fact, we are pursuing this. We've submitted paperwork to Trenton, and we're going to pursue this auto aid plan. So this is all, kind of happening out of the blue. I mean, we've heard about this about a year ago. Obviously, it didn't go anywhere, but now it appears that it's moving. Interestingly, though, and we'll have more on this later today, but the Hoboken City Council has indicated last night that there are no plans whatsoever for a merger. There's no conversations, and they're kind of just trying to get ahead of what's happening in Jersey City. So with that, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Growing up can be tough on kids. So much is going on in the world that can cause depression or anxiety. Unusual behavior for more than 6 months could mean they need help. Don't wait. For real-time mental health support and counseling, call New Jersey's Children's System of Care. CSOC offers free mental health supports, substance use treatment, and services for intellectual or developmental disabilities for all kids up to age 21. Call now 1-877-652-7624.
Introducing the all-new Ford Maverick. A truck for people who do stuff. And people who make stuff. People like Gabrielle Union.
I make this look good, don't I?
Who haul whatever they want to wherever they want. Like wood to build things made of wood with. And friends to get weird with. It's for long trips that the standard hybrid engine with a targeted EPA estimated city fuel economy rating of 40 miles per gallon helps with. That an 8-inch touchscreen connects with. And any trip that this interior makes more comfortable. But we'll let Gabrielle tell you all about it.
Or I could just tell them it's a Ford truck that starts at less than $20,000 MSRP.
Yep, that works too. The all-new Ford Maverick, built to defy expectations.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Heinis. So let's talk a little bit with this lawsuit by this former employee in Union City. So this is John Salerno. You guys may recall that he ran for the Ward D Council seat in Jersey City back in November 2021. And unbeknownst to many of us, including myself, he was the Union City Tenants Advocate Attorney. And he was actually at this law firm, Dario and Yacker, which is based out of Union City. And they had the contract since 2013. And eventually, Salerno got the contract at, I believe that was the beginning of 2020. So business as usual, not really a whole heck of a lot to talk about or get excited about there. But, at this point in the lawsuit, he started talking about how he was getting solicited to make donations to the Bryan Stack Civic Association, as well as to the Bryan Stack for Senate campaigns. And, supposedly, allegedly, he was also asked to campaign during work hours. And he's also blaming the city for when he got COVID in 2020. He said there were no safeguards in place at City Hall. So there's a whole heck of a lot going on. And as I mentioned at the top of the program, he also, probably his boldest claim here, and there's quite a few, but is that he went to the New Jersey Attorney General's Office Public Integrity and Accountability Unit. He met with 2 detectives in Secaucus and gave over 200 pages of documentation claiming that he had these indications that illegality or at least impropriety was going on at City Hall. Specifically, he was talking about how a number of these aides in the mayor's office also worked in the Senate's office and vice versa, and also that people from outside of Union City, again, allegedly were coming to the Union City Tenant Advocate office in need of services and they weren't expecting any additional charge. So according to the lawsuit, the AG's office stopped communicating with him after just 2 meetings, and about 2 months later, he ended up getting fired from the Post. And there's just a really, really salacious lawsuit, and we see this a lot, but typically you don't see it in North Hudson, so this is kind of an unusual one too. And we heard from the city and Ralph Lamparello, who is a partner at Chase & Lamparello with Secaucus, and they're actually the firm that is doing the tenant work in Salerno's absence. They have said quite clearly that they think that this will play out in court and that they think that this case is meritless. And we're gonna see what happens with this one. Obviously, this is relatively fresh, only got filed about 2 weeks ago. So on a lighter note, more of a community note, there's a meeting tonight for Maritime Park. That's that contiguous park in Hoboken for Union Dry Dock. And that's going to be tonight, 6:30 p.m. at Hoboken High School. And, we've talked a lot about this in the recent weeks. I mean, basically, Union Dry Dock is owned by New York Waterway. Now Hoboken owns it, and they're leasing that out and getting a nominal monthly fee from New York Waterway. And what they're trying to do is connect the entire waterfront. They've already hired a Manhattan-based contractor, that's Drasner Architects, and they are already working on this, and that was a $1.17 million contract, not too shabby, and that's basically where we're at. So tonight, for the first time, we're going to get feedback from the community on this. What do people want to see? Whether, playground equipment or, maybe a dog run, things like that. So we're going to see what the community wants, and you can attend in person. Again, that's Hoboken High School. So finally, we're going to end on this. Now that we've talked a lot about these Portside Towers residents over in Jersey City, and there was actually a recent court decision that coincidentally was based out of Union City, and there was a action, or lack thereof, from the New Jersey Supreme Court that has them feeling really good heading into this rent leveling hearing. So what I'm talking about is the New Jersey Supreme Court denied the petition of certification in Willow Ridge Apartments versus Union City Rent Leveling Board. So what exactly does that mean? It means the denial upholds the appellate division's decision that essentially says no filing, no exemption. As you guys know, that has been the battle cry of sorts from the Portside Tenants Association groups that have been saying the rent was raised illegally. Those buildings, of course, as we've talked about extensively, owned by Equity Residential. And one of the leaders of this cause, Kevin Weller, said, in his opinion, in both cases, the landlord's inclusion of a rent control addendum claiming an exemption did not meet the notice requirement. Thus, there was no basis for the notice due to the lack of a valid exemption. Now, in this case, they're actually using the same attorney, Neil Murata, that Union City used, that he's committed to doing these 2 April hearings at a date to be announced. Tentatively could be the 14th or the 21st. We're going to keep you up to speed on that. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it a week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Certainly have a happy Passover and a happy Easter.